So Robbie comes in my office and he says, I had a bad accident. I was playing football on a skateboard in a parking lot, and lo and behold, I hurt my knee. And I said, gee, that's a surprise. Anyway, he needed ACL repair, and he had to have his knee operated on. And he said, and Robbie says to me, well, I've been on these opiates now for 2 weeks. Am I addicted? I've been taking a Percocet 10 milligrams 4, sometimes 5 times a day. And he goes, am I addicted? And I said, well, let's break that down, Robbie. The addiction process begins after 1 dose. So after 1 dose, your body also goes into an intoxication and a withdrawal. So, but at 1 dose, you don't really notice it. So then after taking it 2 doses, 3 doses, it's like a wave. The wave gets bigger. The more you use, the more up you go, the more down you go. So the more the addictive process takes hold. So you start noticing it about the 4th day, where if you've been using Percocet 10 milligrams of oxycodone 4 times a day for 4 days and stop, you're going to feel a little funny. When you stop, you're going to feel a little sweaty, a little uneasy, trouble sleeping, maybe not so hungry. Not too bad. The dose wasn't too high and the length of time wasn't too high. Let's fast forward. Little Robbie hurt his knee again. A week into surgery, he's in the shower, he slips and falls, has to go back to the hospital. This is a true story. And he has the knee operated again. But this time the surgeon says, this is really bad. At this point, we had to do a tendon graft. You are going to be motionless, incapacitated, unable to put weight on this leg for 6 weeks. And the pain is going to be bad. We had to screw something into your bone. We had to carve out another piece of bone. It's not going to be pretty because it was more than a tendon injury. It was more complicated. I'm not sure of the intricacies of it, but it turns out little Robbie's now taking 10 milligrams 6 to 8 times a day. He's doubling up. So he calls me and I say, okay, you're in this heavy. So for the next 2 weeks, he's taking 20 milligrams 4 times a day, which is 80 milligrams a day. Then he bumped it up to 120 milligrams a day of oxycodone. And now he's got a full-blown habit. You develop a habit pretty much after 5 days. But after 2 weeks at over 100 milligrams, you're a rock and roller. You're in it heavy. And the average dose that I detox people from in my office is 300 milligrams. But at somewhere at 120 to 160, you're going to feel withdrawal. And what's that withdrawal? Well, little Robbie went through it. His legs were kicking, he's vomiting, diarrhea, hot and cold flash, goosebumps on his skin, little bumps. His legs were jerking, he's sweating, hot and cold flashes. He's got a lot of saliva, his eyes are tearing, he's emotional, crying, laughing. He's in the bed, his legs are jerking, he's kicking all his clothes off, he's aching, pains all over his body. I detoxed him. He didn't want to do anything. He said, I just want to go through it, wait 24 hours. I don't want any other medicine. And then I started giving him Subutex. And, that helped with the pain. And it wasn't so bad. And I kept him on that for 5 days. And I said, from now on, little Robbie, use Motrin, use Tylenol, alternate between them. 800 of Motrin, 500 to 1,000 milligrams of Tylenol. And take one every 4 hours, either Motrin or Tylenol. So he's doing that. And the moral of the story is you get hooked on opiates, oxycodone, after your first dose. Significant experience of withdrawal begins at around consistently being on it after 4 days. But at the 2-week mark and being on doses of over 80 milligrams a day and you stop, you're going to feel it and you're going to be in a serious withdrawal. Thank you, Dr. Mark Agresti.